Mm-hmm. Always late. Yeah, yeah. Always late. Always late. I know, I know. God help me if this doesn't work properly. I have like no feedback on whether or not this is working. I need to make sure. I need to check chat. Hello? Yes? Leftist audio? Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be more than leftist audio. It's gonna be a lot of leftist stuff. It's working, yo, WTF. Don't, no swears. No swearing. What are you talking about? My God. Oh my God. I had to race for this. You have no idea. If I go to my own site, is it gonna blast audio at me? Don't do that to me. You wouldn't do that to me. Okay, it didn't. Nice. Mysterious blue wall. Wait, what are you guys seeing? You wouldn't do that to me. You're just. Oh, what I guess it does look kind of blue in the lighting. What's up, guys? Yeah, I can see chat now. There we go. So Jimmy Carter's running for a third term, right? Guys, you're never gonna guess what happened. Fuck, are you in the CIA bunker? Yeah, you guys don't know. The nuke's already fired, man. The nuke's already launched. It's over for you, okay? I'm 400 meters under Langley, okay? You guys are you're dust already, you know? Big happening. It's joeing down at this very moment. I really am sorry about the setup. You're never going to believe it. Fucking CenturyLink personally killed my internet. They took me out. The fucking hit squad and I've been racing around trying to get like a hotspot working, and then I wake up to the news that he dropped out a day earlier than expected. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now you're at a friend's house? Yeah. CenturyLink is so ass. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we got a lot to cover, but unfortunately, I can't stream like this for very long for a variety of reasons. Hassan isn't streaming either. He had other plans scheduled. Yes! Nice. That's what we yeah, this it's tit for tat, baby. You know, CenturyLink taking shots in all directions. I doubt Hassan has CenturyLink. Hassan went live now. No! All right. Folks, unbelievably, and a day earlier than expected, I am not used to using laptops. Holy shit. It happened. It happened. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we've made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African American woman to the Supreme Court, woke DEI, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once in a century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. God help me if CenturyLink doesn't fix this shit by then. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in this work. Let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you've placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. And folks, it's kind of I don't know what to say. I don't know, folks. It's kind of fucking historic. This is huge. First of all, we have an implicit endorsement of Kamala Harris, not only in that, but also in that Joe Biden has plugged her Act Blue donation link in the thread. So it seems that whether or not the Democrats broadly are aligning behind Kamala Harris, something that I still think is most likely. Um, Joe Biden is pointing in that direction, which makes the most sense, by the way. Biden's coconut pilled. I'm coconut pilled. It's kind of crazy how much worse things have gotten, man. Oh, he explicitly endorsed. Okay, an explicit endorsement. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm not logged into Twitter, so I can't see threads or, in fact, anything. I'm kind of floundering at the moment. Yeah, here we go. Let me show the full endorsement, which, by the way, I think is a sensible decision. It's crazy how much worse things have gotten. The K Hive was pretty bad 4 years ago. Now, I'm K Hived up. Yeah, no, please, absolutely. I am in the hive. I'm swarming. My fellow Democrats have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my VP, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be made the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. Huge! Unbelievable! There are a few things that I'd like to focus on here from his little resignation letter. First of all, the fact that he said he intended to run again, but decided that it is in the best interest of the American people to step down. For one, he's not naming why he's stepping down, which is, of course, crippling senility, and the fact that he can't string a sentence together, which is maybe the more graceful way to go. For two, the fact that he's still saying, it was my intention to do X. I don't think it comes across as bitter. I think it's well prepared language. It's just interesting that he decided to go that way. The consolidation behind Kamala Harris makes the most sense. I think an open convention would be wacky. I think it'd be good content. I also think an open convention could potentially be disastrous. You have to understand that, like, at the end of the day, we are limited by the kind of lowest common denominator of the political electorate, and that would be the median voter with the average IQ of 54. They might latch on to other Democratic nominee candidates like irrationally and end up getting belligerent and fights might break out. I don't know. This close to the election, maybe avoiding an open convention is in fact the way to go. I mean, we're on the razor's edge anyway, right? It's not as though there are any easy paths forward. So, god damn. No, we might still have an open convention. It's possible, but I think that a direct endorsement of Kamala Harris from the incumbent is a strong indication, at the very least, that it's possible that they won't. Buttigieg for VP. Kamala and AOC ticket likely. Oh, my silly chat, my lovely silly community. Who are we voting for in the VP pick? Josh Shapiro? We have been unburdened by what has been, you know? AOC is sweating right now. She's really not, I promise you. Ben Shapiro VP. Ben Shapiro VP. Any predictions or hopes for VP? Really, I think Josh Shapiro is the pick. Pardon me, I'm tired and my brain is blanking. North Carolina, governor? That's the other one, right? It's Josh Shapiro and Roy Cooper. Thank you. And Roy Cooper. Those are the two good options for me because that would potentially secure either Pennsylvania or North Carolina. Very, very strategic bits there. What about you? Let's see if we can fix my internet first, huh? It should be Gretchen Whitmer. Vosh, double women might be Kamala's only chance to beat Trump. Benjamin with the ideas. Benjamin with the ideas. Stop lagging, Vosh. You know, I do what I can, okay? It's rough out here, you know that? Dumping on Biden after he's done such a great job, this pisses me off big time. You know, I think that in retrospect, there's a very decent possibility that Biden choosing to drop out will be one of the best things that he's done for the presidency. You know, we're in Hamilton territory, folks. Don't you remember? Remember the third song from King George? Are they just going to keep replacing whoever's in charge? That one? Stepping down in this position, you know, I think is a sign of strength and a sign of trust in the democratic process, you know, rather than just inertia carrying forward the incumbent. What happened to your audio, man? Oh, wait. Am I using the audio from this thing? Oh, I forgot. These things are a microphone as well. You know how I take my earbuds off? I completely forgot about that. Grab your mic like a Zoomer. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, now we're interviewing people for TikTok. There we go. Okay. We'll hit the bar again, okay? Are they going to keep on replacing who's ever's in charge? If so, who's next? There we go. Um, I think that Joe Biden choosing to step down, considering the circumstances, is a tremendous show of strength, both on a personal level because he's kind of stepping past his ego, which we know he has, and additionally because it indicates that he has enough faith in the kind of like mobilization abilities of the democratic process for them to come up with another presidential nominee. I'm sorry, I literally rolled out of bed for this. I was a lot's gone wrong from like on a streaming side of things. I hope you can all look past that towards the underlying news. And the underlying news, by the way, is that something fucking happened. Nothing ever happens, bros. Are seething, coping, crying, shitting, pissing, and coming right now. Well, maybe they're not coming. Nothing ever happens, bros. Are losing. They're done. It's over. They're not coming back. Something did, in fact, happen. Are you ready for what can be unburdened by what has been? I think so. The board needed a reset. It's crazy to me. You know, this is genuinely like unprecedented territory. We're kind of wandering into the void now, you know. We're stepping into the marsh. I don't know what exactly comes next. I don't think we're going to see an open convention. I do think we're going to run with Kamala. I don't actually know that. I mean, I like obviously I'm not fucking psychic, but that's what I think. Do you know who decides if it's an open convention? The DNC does. Like the private organization, the DNC. I want to stop living in unprecedented times. What are you, fucking boring? I wish every day the milkman delivered me milk in my front door and I opened up the newspaper and the newspaper said numbers went up, but not too much. Fuck you, all right? Shit's happening, liberal, okay? The dialectic is advancing. Marx would have predicted this, okay? This is one of the reports of how a mini primary might run. Yeah, yeah. It's there are a lot of potentially there are a lot of ways this can potentially go, okay? We're living in crazy times, folks. I will say, without any irony, I will say this, okay? I think I think it was right for Biden to do this, and I am genuinely impressed by his uh the strength of character required to succumb to the pressure to drop out in these circumstances. I think that this increases the likelihood of us beating Trump. I don't know if it guarantees us beating Trump, but I genuinely do not think that Kamala had a chance on her own. I know that there's going to be a scramble within the Democratic Party after this, no matter what happens. I know that there's going to be blame passed back and forth, even if we run towards good outcomes. I will say, I think there's a very reasonable possibility that Kamala ends up losing as well. And if Kamala does lose, it's kind of Jover anyway. But in addition to it being Jover, we might get blamed a little bit for that. Getting Joe Biden to drop out will be seen as a like unanimous party decision if it goes well, and pressure from the left if it goes poorly. My friend says Trump is up from Kamala by an even wider margin than Biden in the polls. Does this matter? No, because your friend is deceitful. Your friend is an impish trickster trying to lead you astray. The polling averages indicate the opposite. Kamala Harris actually has an edge over Biden against Trump. So you might want to throw some salt at your friend the next chance you get. Polling is, of course, a devilish practice on its own. So I wouldn't get too invested in the, in the game then. Folks, I've always been a vote blue no matter who guy because I'm a strategic pragmatist when it comes to realistically what can be done within an electoral system, which is not that much. The best you can do under an electoral system is, I think, to avoid the worst case scenario, and you have to do the real work outside of that system. I'm very sorry, but we're going to have to go hard for Kamala. We don't have a lot of time. We need her to win. Kamala Harris is not a phenomenal candidate. I think that her whimsy and her levity might give her an edge in debates and in rhetoric against Donald Trump. I think that she has some pointers ahead of him in terms of like direct engagement. It really depends on how things play out. Again, I can't see the future. In terms of how we need to respond to her presence here, you guys have to understand that we are we are like stumbling the final few feet before the finish line here. You know what I mean? We are untethering ourselves from Biden and sprinting ahead in a final desperate measure to prevent the literal actual downfall of American democracy. Something which is kind of teetering on the precipice and has been for a while now, but like really though, really, really, really though. We we need to be unburdened by what has been, is what I mean. You know, I'm not saying that Kamala Harris should deserve our uncritical support. I'm only saying that she would be the first female president, and it's her turn, and anyone who thinks she shouldn't be president is sexist. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going hard partisan for her. I'm just saying that if you don't want Kamala Harris to be president, you're sexist and racist and possibly a rapist. Not guaranteed, just, likely 80%. That's all I'm saying. I'm with her, I think it's her turn. Listen, okay? She's had to scream and press her hands against the glass ceiling under Joe Biden for 4 years now, all right? Really though. I am excited. Remember, after the debate happened, the idea of Joe Biden dropping out was marginal, unlikely. Only the more radical voices were pushing for it. And over time, those voices grew into a chorus, and then it happened. And I was calling from it for the beginning. So frankly, I feel, I don't know, is it an ego thing? Am I just trying to salvage any bit of dopamine that I can from, me scrambling out of bed and like hastily installing OBS in a friend's laptop? Yeah, I'm trying my best. We're all trying our best. Kamala Harris needs to try her best. Like, seriously. There's no room right now for Kamala Harris to be indecisive. She needs to hit the ground running. You took a while to really endorse it. Well, I was always supportive of the idea, but how likely was it? How likely was it? You know? Republicans are mad. Oh, fantastic. Republicans knew that they were better off against Joe. Joe just dropped out. The Democratic elite, corporate media, and billionaire donors successfully pressure the candidate chosen by. Curious. Kaneko the Great is using the same rhetoric AOC did to delegitimize the calls for Biden to drop out. Chosen by Democratic primary voters to drop out because he's down in the polls and losing. Democrats destroying democracy in pursuit of power. Exactly. It really is like a zero sum, or sorry, like a no win scenario here, because they would have said it's undemocratic no matter what. If Joe Biden had gotten raced through despite everyone wanting him to drop out, even though like there was basically no primary, they would have said that was undemocratic. And if in here with like him dropping out, they're saying that's undemocratic. Possible that Joe Biden decided to drop out earlier today. Yeah, he's got COVID. He was coughing into the toilet and a few teeth fell out, and he was like, you know. Can I say something saccharine for a moment? I've never been so proud of you guys. In in a moment of great happening, uh, I feel like this community has done a pretty good job keeping its eyes aligned. Uh, I think that like we kind of teeter a little bit on the balance where there are a lot of leftist communities that take unpragmatic attitudes towards electoralism, largely because it's considered kind of unfashionable to be invested at all in it. From a leftist perspective, and then from the liberal perspective, they like to do and like poop their diapers. So that I don't think is conducive to forward momentum in this race at all. I think that I think this community does pretty well, all things told. The doom does get a bit much at times. Not from here. The doom here is a lot less than the doom in a lot of other places. Okay, I'm just look. Okay, this community does a pretty good job, I think, for the most part. Yeah, let's take a look at Trump's and Mike Johnson's. Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to. I can't do this. My nose is stuffed. I'm not doing this voice. I don't care to. And never was. He only attained the position of president by lies, fake news, and not leaving his basement. All those around him, including his doctor and the media, knew that he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't. And now look at what he's done to our country with millions of people coming across our border, totally unchecked and unvetted, many from prisons, mental institutions, and record number of terrorists. We suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we'll remedy the damage he's done very quickly, make America great again. Bad rhetoric from Donald Trump. Bad rhetoric from Donald Trump. You know why? Because he's not running against Joe Biden anymore. Really, this makes it sound like whether or not Donald Trump wins, Joe Biden's reign is over. They've got a new enemy. From Mike Johnson, or Mauld Johnson. At this unprecedented juncture in American history, we must be clear about what just happened. The Democratic Party forced the Democratic nominee off the ballot just 100 days before the election, having invalidated the votes of more than 14 million Americans. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Now, the Republicans are like, now that Joe Biden has dropped out, they're like, the Democratic primary was a very legitimate and extremely well-invested process. Many Americans cared. 14 million, dude. That's like fucking 4% of the population who selected Joe Biden to be the Democratic nominee for president. The self-proclaimed party of democracy has proven exactly the opposite. The party's prospects are no better now with Vice President Kamala Harris, who co-owns the disastrous policy failures of the Biden administration, as second in command and a completely inept border czar. Harris has been a gleeful accomplice, not only in the destruction of American sovereignty, security, and prosperity, but in the largest political cover-up in U.S. history. She is known for as long as anyone of his incapacity to serve. Regardless of the chaos in the current White House, our adversaries around the globe should be reminded that U.S. Congress, the U.S. military, and the American people are fully prepared and committed to defend our interests both home and abroad. If Joe Biden is not fit to run for president, he is not fit to serve as president. He must resign the office immediately. Okay, mad, mauled, seething even. Cover up. They're saying the cover up of Joe Biden being too incompetent to run for president. Trump also tried to shit on Kamala at his rally yesterday and called her laughing Kamala. Yeah, it doesn't really work because Kamala Harris is, fairly youthful, energetic, and positive, Like you can't really run in that direction. And all of the insults Trump wants to use for Kamala would be electorally unviable. Trump says Kamala will be easier to defeat than Biden. Well, he's not going to admit the opposite. The Ed Wokeness account is seething too. Ah, you mean Posobiec? I see, I see. Screw the 14 million primary voters who cast their ballots for you, am I right? Dude, it's fucking pathetic. They're so mad at Joe Biden dropping out. That's insane, dude. Pretending the Democratic primary did anything. They don't know how to attack her. Oh, they know how to attack Kamala Harris. The problem is they just can't say it on TV. That's the issue, They're out. Um, they can be sexist to Kamala Harris, but the problem is that honestly, Kamala doesn't really fit many of the stereotypes that people would use to lambast her with sexist, you know? Like, there are a lot of negative things you could say about Hillary Clinton that would align with sexist stereotypes. Not so much with Kamala Harris. Obviously, sexism isn't rational, so you can throw that out there no matter what, but, you know. Problem is, Ivosh would agree with most of the sexist comments. And then there's the racist ones, yes. We cannot have a repeat of the VP debate. Um, I think Kamala Harris did pretty good against Mike Pence. Like Mike Pence came across more like professional, but that's because Mike Pence is a older white guy with a brick for a face. He conveys professionalism purely through demographic bias. I don't think that Kamala Harris did a bad job in those debates at all. We should note, of course, that when I ever say the word professionalism, I'm using it as a slur. Like, professionalism is an extremely biased construct. Like, having shorter hair as a guy is more professional. That's not rational. That's just, it's an arbitrary set of social standards. So, yeah, she wouldn't even debate against Vance now. Vance doesn't have anyone to debate until the VP pick. Huh. I don't know. Pete Buttigieg would steamroll Vance. That's true. Vance is an internet groiper, and Pete Buttigieg is a homosexual. So that's kind of like a natural type counter because of the whole like closeted internet Nazi thing. You know what I mean? From Jasmine Crockett. Well, I hope the geniuses who pushed the most consequential president of our lifetime out have a plan. Who in the hell couldn't sell the MF accomplishments and win over a 34-time convicted what I don't want to. You know what I don't give a shit about? Seething liberals right now. I'll make fun of seething cons. Listen, if you're a liberal, if you're a Democrat, God help me, if you're a progressive and you're like whining about Joe Biden dropping out, you need to fold your body inward and cram your own head up your asshole because that's clearly your chosen environment. Okay, he chose to drop out. He's too old. He can't run anymore. Okay, you were the one delusionally pushing him through, energetically gunning him up for a second term that he's not capable of running. If you'd been realistic about his prospects from the get go, maybe this could have happened months ago. Fall in line. I am the establishment. I stand with Pelosi, Obama, Schumer, Jeffries, and Schiff. You're the radical, like AOC. Whatever ends up happening, at least it's going to be interesting. We'll have a lot more to talk about in the days to come. Soon, Biden is going to be speaking publicly on this. In all likelihood, the reason he's not giving a public address on it now is because he's too sick and ancient and feeble, and he has something known as dust blood syndrome. He doesn't want to go out there. Content brained. You know what I'm brained about? You know what brain I would like to get right now? The brain of my comfy Herman Miller computer chair and my beautiful streaming setup. I need to get my internet fixed, man. I'm gonna go home and I'm going to hit my modem over and over with a hammer. Is what I'm going to do. Donos? Are you fuck? You think I can even access my donos right now? Are you kidding me? Are you joshing me right now? You think I can even see them? You think I have any idea what's going on? That'll fix it? Yeah. Josh Shapiro wants the VP pick so bad. I want Josh Shapiro to have a VP pick. You realize Josh Shapiro winning the VP pick would basically lock down Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania lockdown gives us a much cleaner road to Harris winning the presidency. Dems are already hammering Trump and being old now. That is an unexpected, well, not unexpected, but that is a additional benefit of Joe Biden dropping out. Now you can attack Trump for being old. You couldn't do that with Biden being your front runner, but now that he's down, you can go after him for being old. Shapiro fucking sucks though. Yeah, having a Daily Wire owner as a VP is a weird pick, but if it locks down PA, Josh Shapiro is one of the most anti-Palestinian bigots of the major options. I know, I know. Look, we can do Cooper as well, okay? But North Carolina's more of an edge case. Vosh, Governor Shapiro's a Zionist. Shapiro's a Zionist. I'm hearing this for the first time. Stop supporting him for VP. You think I don't know that? No read to me read my dono. It's a month's worth of good internet using, man. Oh, I'll read every dono. I'm just gonna have to wait until I'm back in my proper setup. Opinion on Jill Stein, a crank with poor political instincts, at best. We're not going to win North Carolina. Come on, people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Bashir is a much better option. Folks, I need to go hit my modem with a hammer. For too long, my modem has gone unhammered. It calls out to me. I've got so many hammers that I can use on it. I've got a little rubber tipped ball peen hammer. I've got a big standard metal one with like the nail puller on the back. I've even got a big I've got a pipe wrench, like one of those 30-pound Bioshock, like System Shock pipe wrench kind of dealios. You know what I mean? That would destroy it in one hit, which might fix it. I don't know how the internet works, to be honest with you. I love you. Take care. I'll see you guys soon in a proper setup.